Hello, and welcome to another edition of Math, Music, and More. I know I'm supposed to be talking about this paradox-like thing that I discovered regarding the density of irrational numbers, and I promise I will get to that, but I was just plinkering around. Every now and then, I just sit down and I just plinker, and I came across something that I thought was very, very interesting. On one of my previous videos recently, I talked about the flattened subdominant, and when I first discussed that, I mentioned some of its uses. And in fact, there's one song that I was just kind of playing around with right now off the top of my head. I realized it actually does use the flattened subdominant, but in a different way. So I thought we'd talk about that briefly. And it's a fantastic standard jazz tune. And let's start first with the melody. So if you hear that, that sounds like a second inversion E minor chord, but it's not, because you can tell if you know the song that I'm playing, it's Misty, that it's going to be a C major chord. But because of that, note right there is this beautiful C major 7, right? And then you know it's a half stop, and I discovered immediately, oh, that's got to be a G minor 7 with a ninth up there. And then here I struggled for a moment. I realized that it would go, and I realized that that was an F major 9 chord. So I thought, how do I get from here to an F major 9 chord? And then I realized it's got to be the dominant of the F chord. Well, the Dom 7 of the F chord is actually, obviously, a C Dom 7, which is very similar to the G minor 7 we were just playing. You just take the top two notes, and it makes a perfect transition to that subdominant, again played as a major 7 or maybe even a major 9. But anyway, we're about to come up to the other scene that I wanted to talk to you about, but let's just go back to it again. So, to the C Dom 7. And here's where it gets interesting. You have this, you can hear it in the melody, you can hear the notes. What chord comes there? The flattened subdominant. And then this just slides down to the Dom 7 of the key of C. So they're using the flattened subdominant with that suspend 2 up there as a transition chord to get to the Dom 7. Remember how we talked about that? How you could think of the flattened subdominant as just kind of a chord that slides. You could think of it as something that's trying to confuse the listener. Are we in the key of C major? Or are we in the key of C minor? In this case, I think they're actually using it very clearly as a way to just, as a transition to get to that Dom 7 chord of the tonic, which is C. And I love throwing in the 9 here. You want that 9 in there for the color. And then of course the subdominant. And to the subdominant, to the dominant. So anyway, hopefully that made a little bit of sense. I was trying to use again the technique of hearing the melodies and understanding where the place is in the melody and therefore what the implied chord underneath must be. Hopefully that was helpful, but I also want to stress two things: the constant addition of the 6th and the 9ths and the 2nds to give those fantastic color chords, but again, yet another way that the flattened subdominant can be used. It's used in rock, it's used in jazz, it can be used in classical music. Now, because I said that, I feel like I have to find one somewhere in my head. When I get to it, I'll record it. But in the meantime, hope you enjoyed Misty. What a fantastic song. Take care, everybody. Until next time.